Cowboy boots are experiencing a significant resurgence in fashion, becoming a must have accessory for style enthusiasts across the globe. Their unique blend of rugged authenticity and timeless elegance has captured the attention of fashion forward individuals, making them a staple in contemporary wardrobes. If you know me, you know I love cowboy boots and I've loved them for years. I own about a dozen or so from one store in Austin, Texas, and I am so excited that the co-owner of that store is with us today. Her name is Kimber Bro, and she's the co-owner and designer of Heritage Boot Company in Austin, Texas. Welcome to the show, Kimber.
Oh, Hilary, thank you so much. I love your enthusiasm. Just in the introduction, it gave me goosebumps. I love enthusiastic people. It makes the world a much better place.
Well, as you know, I absolutely love your boots. I only wear Heritage boots, and I want to find out from you how you got started in this, and if you can give me a brief history about Heritage Boot Company and what inspired you to found this company.
Well, for full disclosure, I am not the founder. I found it, but I'm not the founder. So I like to say I've lived my life accidentally on purpose. I moved back from Los Angeles where I did many different things and came back here to be closer to my family and did not know what to do. So I started studying leather working. And then I Googled handmade cowboy boots and found Heritage Boot, which was founded by an Irishman and an Irishman from Dublin and his American wife, who's also Irish, Patty and Jerry Ryan. And then I went in and said, you know what, I will intern, apprentice, whatever. I want to learn how to make cowboy boots. I've been wearing them since I was 3. I was an ag major at Texas A&M University, cowboy, cowgirl. My whole house has always been decorated with everything like that. I just love it. I'm passionate about it. Urban Cowboy boots. I had the boots from Urban Cowboy. So I go in, he said, we don't make them here. I do the designing. They're made in Leon, Mexico, but I need a salesperson. Do you want to do it? I had never been in sales. Turned out I was a great salesperson, top salesperson year after year. And then he decided to sell it and 3 of us decided to buy it. And it was one of those things because I had just thought I need to get serious about a career now. I had got my resume built by a professional resume person, and then that happened. And I take that as the universe telling me exactly where I was supposed to be. And now we're going on 4.5 years later, and I couldn't be happier with the way that my life presented itself to me. It was like I said, I just kept showing up, not knowing what was going to happen. And here I am. And I also discovered that I really am good with color for boots and designing boots. That's something I didn't know I had. And I love
Well,
every minute of it. I feel blessed to be able to do it.
absolutely. I mean, and it is true. You definitely have a knack and a talent for this. So, talk to us about your vision for Heritage Boots, and how do you bring to life your designs?
So, so vision. We've been just trying to maintain and build. The cost of everything is going up. So sadly, or not sadly, it's just you adjust. Our boots are having to go up in price. So our vision is to make sure that we design boots that fit the price point, that the customers coming in I want a visceral response. So recently I designed a boot with a horse and hearts on it and stuff. And it was this vintage design I had on my phone forever that I redid, reconstructed, changed colors. We did it in a mint green. It sold really fast. And then we did it in this cognac and a dusty rose. And it was the quintessential boot I wanted to design. And here's why. When people saw it, you could feel their love for it. It like got into their heart and they needed to have it. And it meant something to them, even if they didn't know what it meant. And so my desire is to tell a story. There are some boots that we do for basics and stuff, but I've reached a point because we share the design process. There's three of us, so one of us doesn't want to take full control of it. So we design our own. My personal desire is I want a story. I want it to tell a story, whether it's a story from my heart, or I did one called Pushing Up Daisies. And the reason why is they used to put on the boot what you were afraid of. So and the theory was that it warded it off. Like, if you're afraid of snakes, they stayed away. You put a snake on your boot. So Pushing Up Daisies is a really simple way of putting death on a boot. It's crows, it's daisies, it's flowing. And then now I'm going to do a Deep in the Heart of Texas boot. And so elements from the song Deep in the Heart of Texas, but we're not going to put a Texas on it because then it limits the audience. But so I want the boots to tell a story. My partners are real into the story of color, so their boots are more designed for the color rather than just the story. So it makes a good balance. I like a fancy foot, they like a simple foot. So we've created this, they're all going to tell a story, whether it's the color, where it's the rugged nature that it evokes, but we're trying to be a storytelling boot store where every boot has its own story. So when you put it on, the boot has a story, and then you hop into that story and make it your own. We want to grow the business. Yeah, I don't know that we want a second location. We're about to launch where you can actually buy off our website. We've always had a website, so we're going to launch that. So we are trying to grow it at a slow pace, but also just meet the market where it's at. I don't want people to buy our boots because on a whim. I want them to want them because I want the next day when they wake up, they go, God, I'm so happy to have these. Not what did I just do with my money?
Absolutely. That's really so true. I mean, they are expensive, but they're worth every penny and they last forever. I
That's
can't
good.
believe how long I've had some of these boots. I mean, it's been over 10 years, I think, for some of them. So talk to us about, I mean, all of your boots have such unique designs and elaborate stitching.
Right.
And you use fine leathers. Can you tell us what sets you apart, Heritage Boot Company, from other boot makers?
Yeah, so I mean, so there's a lot of boots being made in Leon, Mexico. We were one of on the forefront of that. Jerry was smart, got there 17 years ago, found a small shop rather than a large factory. It's family owned. He will not let anybody else invest. He's got his daughters there, his uncles, his nephews, and they're generational. The people that work for him, he's got a grandfather, a son, and a grandson all learning, doing the soling of the boots. That is one of the things that sets us apart. It's very personal. It's very personal, our relationship with our bootmaker. We went to the daughter's wedding. It's very personal, the boots that we make with them. And we talk each other through the process. We learn more about how the pattern making goes. Our boots are handmade like a custom boot, which is with the lemonwood pegs, the layered leather soles. We have a steel forged shank. We have buckskin lining on the inside. So like I go barefoot, it never causes a blister. It's a really comfortable, and the welting is called Goodyear. The welting is what puts it on the sole. And the Goodyear welting is from I want to say 1865. I might be in 1895. Do not quote me. But a man named Charles Goodyear created a way for soling a boot or a shoe that you could resole it. And so a lot of times people go, what is that white stitching? Because we dye it on a few boots. And I'm going to show you what I mean when I say, what is that white stitching? This is a kind of a fancy little girl's boot or young woman's boot. And also, so you can see the white stitching that goes on where the sole and the boot meet. And that's what I'm talking about. That's the welt that can be resold. Any cobbler that has trained in, the old school way of making shoes will know how to resole that. And that's what, so, and a lot, and I'm not saying that we're the only company that does that. What also makes us special is we're owner operated, we're in the store, we're working, we're designing, you're meeting the whole team when you come here to buy a boot. And so it's very personal to us. We want to we remember you when you come back. We want to build a relationship. We consider you a friend, not a customer. We have a dynamic in the store that we have the same employees that have worked for us. We keep it small, we keep it local. And the only thing why I'm saying local is it's not, we want customers from all over, but we want you to know you're coming to a store that exists in Austin, Texas. This is the only place you can buy these boots. These boots are very personal to us, and we care about the boots, and we care about you, and we care about it being right. And I feel like that's where we're not trying to become a large brand. And now all the brands out there, not all, but a lot of the brands out there are very large, and they're global. And so when you come here, you're going to get a boot, even if we make a lot of one design, it's in the scope of things, it's maybe 100 pair, and you're talking about that's what we sell all over the world. And so you're walking out with something that you're not going to see everybody in. If you do have a connection, there was someone in a airport, I believe it was in Budapest, and they saw someone with a boot that they knew was heritage, and they had their heritage on, and she ran across the way, and they had this instant connection. And I loved hearing that story. Because, you know, for me, I mean, I'm one of those people, I was raised by school teachers. I was not raised with money. It does not fall deaf on my ears how much I'm asking someone to spend on a pair of our boots. But I want you to know it's not just a pair of boots. It's a relationship building. It's a connection with other people. And if I could give away every pair of boot and just spend time with the people that are coming in, that's what I would do. I'm just not that rich. So, but anyway, so that's what I think sets us apart. I think my business partners share that same passion of customer interaction. We want you to be happy. We will bend over backwards to make you happy. And we don't look at you as customers. We look at you as friends. And you can come in.
Absolutely.
I don't care if you buy or not, just come say hi.
You know, what's really funny about what you said is that during COVID, Heritage Boot Company was showing the boots live on Facebook. And I think I bought a ton of boots during that time. And I know that my friend Jody also bought boots
She
during
did.
that time. And when I was talking about one of the pairs of boots online, I was texting, I see her name. I had no idea that she loved the boots as much as I do. And I said, wait a second, is that Jody from Long Island?
Oh,
And it turned out, I mean, so it was just so funny that that happened. And we instantly became better friends as a result of that. So tell us, Kimber, how do you manage to produce premium handmade boots in small quantities? And what are some of the challenges that you face?
challenges are, supply chain challenges, especially since COVID, leather supply chain, exotic skins, um, making sure we get the best of leathers, keeping the quality up. And just, the challenge is timing because they are handmade. We're working with a small shop. They give us an estimated time, but that estimated time is just an estimate. And so it usually runs behind. So we do a pre-order thing, but we discovered that it's better for us not to take anybody's money because we can't give you a time. And if you take someone's money, I just feel really bad, like, oh, it's gonna be a month from now. So we do run into that. We run into sometimes you'll get a skin and they'll start making it like a crocodile, and you go, these skins are too small to make a full vamp, which is the full foot. So then we have to like come up with a redesign. How can we make this work? And doing some of them, I go, oh, just throw it on this and just throw it on that. So that's not what we do. It's careful consideration. We're going to reconfigure. Like recently, we're doing this really cool pinched rose boot that was going to have, and this is an exact, I'm going a specific incident that just recently happened. The crocodile skins don't fit a whole foot. So now we've got what are called like tail size skins, which means a triad construction. And let me show you, just to give you an idea what that looks like when we're talking triad construction. Since there's so a triad construction means it's part of the foot and then you put it on the heel. And for those that can watch, you're going to see, but it can't cover the full vamp. So you see where the crocodile stops right here, and then you get plain leather right here and right here. So we ran into trouble with that, and it was a pinched rose boot. So now what we've done is we made a course correction, and instead of the roses just being up here, we've got roses coming all the way down. We've got a tall one with, it's black cherry on black, and it's really elegant. And then we've got a short one with bright red roses and stars. And we redid it. They sent us a quick sample, and that was gold. It worked. We're so excited. So things like having to do redesigns, every once in a while they are handmade. We very rarely, but sometimes they come in and we have, you have where a welt was like not properly done and stuff. And then that's not a big challenge because our bootmaker honors, just like we honor our construction, so does our bootmaker. So it's just, a lot of it too is, everybody sees color differently, and, you do Instagram to make it artsy, and then the website is more accurate. You got to work with color, sizing challenges with customers, and just the things that you think about. But honest to God, the challenges are not like it's nothing like we're in a panic and we need a PR person. So we've never had any challenge like that. And then, the rising costs, that's always a challenge. A market where boots are so big and there's all kinds of little boutique brands popping up. So how to continue to market our boots and compete with the boutique brands? How do we, again, you asked what makes us different, how to get that across without even any sort of degradation or demeaning or lowering anything about our competitors, because I welcome anybody and everybody into the marketplace. Just like when Pete's, I lived in Los Angeles and Beverly Hills, and on one corner was Starbucks, one corner was Pete's, and one corner was Coffee Bean and Tea Leaf. They're all three right there across the street from each other. They looked at it as everybody has their own taste. So make sure and find what our customer is. Stay true to heritage, offer what heritage is, and we will get our customers. So
Yeah,
those
I
are just
mean,
the challenges everyone faces.
oh, absolutely. I mean, I think what's interesting is that I love going out west. I love to go to Denver. I love to, go to Austin. I love to go, to different places, Phoenix, whatever. And I always stop off at boot stores. And I seriously have never found a boot store like Heritage Boot Company.
Thank you.
And I'm just loyal to you, because I love the boots. And what you said before about Instagram, Heritage Boots has a company has a great Instagram page. So make sure to like them on Instagram because you'll see some amazing styles. So Kimber, talk about, I know you have like tons of boots in your shop.
Yes.
How do you determine like if there's something for everyone, like how do you determine different styles and fit and detailing? Like what do you do? Like you can't stock everything, right?
Right, right. And if you want to know what the biggest challenge is, it's that you can't stock everybody. And we do realize that we may not fit everybody's taste, but we do try and strike a good balance in price point, in subtle design and fancy design. But really what we do, we don't follow trends, but we do pay attention. Like right now, there's so many boot companies out there. There's so many black and brown boots, right? So either we make a really different black and brown boot. That's one thing that we do. Something like one of my favorite boots right now, that's one of my designs that we just got in again for the second time, selling like crazy, is my basic, very light neutral boot. But it's not basic because it's a hand tooled boot, but I did it as a basic boot. And I wish I could show you how mine has aged, because I got the sample made in mine. But you see, this is a fancy boot, but is it?
Beautiful.
So this is like,
Yeah.
so here it is, a brown boot. Everybody makes light brown, dark brown. Here's a brown boot that offers you something completely different. So
Yeah.
that's something that we try. And then because there are so many black and brown boots, all kinds of things going on, we're using more color, and we're trying to be very strategic in color, because there's so many colors out there. As you know, you look at the color chart, and a lot of them look better on walls than in footwear. You see, so it's weeding out what colors people will wear on their feet. And then when you design a color, you think about how many customers out there will buy it. And that's how you pick how many pair you make in each size, or if you just make one pair in each size on your first run, see how that goes, then you bring it back again. Just, it's a test thing. And that's the luxury of having a small business with this bootmaker that we have, is we can do a small run. and test the waters with it. And if it sits on the shelf a while, then we go, has it found its customer, or is it never going to find its customer? And
You know what?
luckily we're pretty good at that. And but we do, like right now we're mulling a boot, and I won't say the colors, but there's a couple colors that we're like, do we want to go there? And which one should we go to? Which one is, they're both beautiful colors, but would people wear them? And would people, because it's not a cheap boot, would people pay that much to wear them?
You know what's interesting, Kimber, is that I bought a pair, I think last year, of mint green boots
Oh,
with
that was
red
my love.
hearts.
That's my, yeah, isn't it great? My sweetheart.
I absolutely love those boots. I did not think it would go with anything, and it goes with everything.
Isn't that great?
So,
That's what I tell people. If you think a color won't go with anything, then that means it's going to go with everything, because it's that extremes.
yes,
And it's so much. I
absolutely.
have that boot, and that's the boot that we redid in the powder pink and the cognac as well. I have both in my collection. That's the boot that people go, oh my God, I love it. That's the visceral response boot.
Yeah, people do stop me on the street. It's amazing. I get stopped constantly on the street. Where'd you get those boots? They're
Right.
gorgeous.
Right.
So,
I love that. I love that.
so talk to me about like ordering over the, I mean, so during COVID, you did a really fantastic job, keeping afloat and doing Facebook Live. How could people, from across the country order from you? Do you do Facebook Live with them? How does that work?
Well, we did a Facebook Live yesterday, because when we get a new shipment, it's really quick. It's not as long as it used to be. But we have a landline texting that we do a lot of interaction with. You could call us. Our number both for texting and phone calls is 512-326-8577. We talk people through it. We've been doing this since we've been a company. I would say we have a 97% accuracy in sizing people over the phone. And like I said, we're about to open up an online store. What it will do is it will present you with a series of questions, and then it will put your boot in the cart and save it for you until we're able to reach out to you just with some further questions to be sure that we've got the correct size, and then the sale will process through. If we don't have your size, it will tell you if the boot's coming in. We're really working on creating a website that just answers all your questions with our voice. So it's going to be us forming the questions, the answers, make it very personal, and you'll still be able to reach out to us, the small staff that we have. There's a total of 7 people. The small staff that we have, you'll be talking to one of us. That chat is not going to be an AI chat. It's going to be us. And so those are going to be the ways you can, if you want me to FaceTime you on a phone call. I don't have a problem giving out my cell phone number and here you go, let's do this. I have a lot of customers that I do straight texting pictures with and everything, if they want that personal touch, if it makes them feel more comfortable with what we're doing. Our staff is really good on the phone. We've told them to be very personal and honor that you're speaking to a person. This isn't just a sale to someone that you may not see them, you may not know them. Treat them like your best friend.
Talk to us a little bit about colors and styles for 2025. Any thoughts?
Wow, 2025, you're putting me, so we've got some new design. We're coming up with some new colors for a 16-inch boot that we've never done. We do realize it's time for us, since we bought it, the old bootmaker did recreate some vintage styles that would always existed, but we're drawing up. So our goal in 2025 is to have a lot of our originals, like my Deep in the Heart of Texas. Stay tuned, 2025. We possibly have, ladies, a Dusty Rose boot coming out. That's a decision. 2025, guys, we're coming out with possibly some colored exotics that we haven't done before, and just trying to keep ourselves fresh and relevant by still honoring, because we're vintage inspired. So 30s through 60s, we may incorporate a new toe shape for both men and women. That's for 2025. And we're just working on keeping the same and adding a little stuff that's unexpected. It's kind of like the old school movie formula. You have a great movie, you have a great script, you just change the characters, you make them interesting, and then you go unexpected twist. That's what 2025 holds in store. We're going to have the unexpected twist every time we get a new shipment.
That's awesome. I'm so excited about that. Now, you have so many boots in your store, but do you sell other things besides boots?
We do. We have more maker knives, which we love. We also have we have some in the winter, we have Geyer gloves, which is a great glove maker. But our favorite partnership, I think I'm going to ask Delia, is our favorite partnership Red Rabbit Trading? Yeah, so Red Rabbit Trading, this is a wonderful, he started as a tattoo artist, trained with the Navajo. He's a very matter-of-fact person. He's a jewelry designer. Follow him on Instagram. We carry his turquoise and silver jewelry. It's very retro with a real like motorcycle tattoo guy edge to it. So it's retro with a twist. And that's what we love. It's something that fits the vibe of our boots, but also adds a little bit of unexpected. And that's what we love about him. And we love him and his wife. His wife is spectacular, works with him in the business. It's Mike French and McKenzie. And she works for Mark Maggiore, the artist who we collaborated with. He's an amazing Western artist. And their essence and their insides match our essence and insides. So we do that. We have our t-shirts. We're coming up with new designs. We're working on some things. We have some fun bolo ties. We have both Red Rabbit Trading and this other bolo tie made by this woman. She goes by Heliotrope. We love that partnership. We have a local guy that does some hand-tooled wallets and belts. And then we have some various things like our wallets, and we have some these interesting, we find an artisan that does a little embroidered. So we used to do the chain stitch patches. Now we have embroidered clip-on Western bow ties that are done in silk. So, and we've got some art pieces from our branding artist, Carlos Hernandez, who did our box. And I'm going to have Delia grab one of our boxes because so for the visual of this, I just want people to see, because I feel like this, and this, all credit to Patty and Jerry Ryan for knowing who to hire to do this, but our box is so spectacular. So
It
I just have to
is.
show you. This is the Heritage Boot Box for those. For those that aren't watching, it's got this skeleton cowboy playing a guitar. It says Austin, Texas Heritage Boot, and he's got chaps on and flames surrounding him with some mid-century modern look to it. And it's red with black and this faded yellow, and it's just perfect. I think that I mean, we're going to keep that box design probably for eternity because it's just right. And we also did these but he had him design these boot bags that are equally as cool with a cowgirl on it. And she's putting her boots on, kind of a little bit pin up, but pin up from the 50s, not pin up from, today. And so
Love
we
it.
are now said there are dusters that are coming with our boots, and they
Fun.
say South Congress, Austin, Texas. And again, Carlos Hernandez, you couldn't ask for better. And so, and we've got our staff. This is our beautiful Delia, who is probably the best. Can they see her?
Yep.
She's been with us since we took over the store, and we couldn't be more proud and happy to have her on our staff.
Well, thank you so much. So before we go, can you just give us the phone number again and the website again?
Yes, and I'm going to show you some of our women's boots from a distance. That's what our shelves look like. Our phone
Wow,
number is
beautiful.
512-326-8577. We are on Instagram as Heritage Boot, singular, and our website again is www.heritageboot.com. And stay tuned because probably in September, we will have a full online store. Again, though, if you want to talk to us, just call the store because we love talking to you.
Thank you so much, Kimber. Really appreciate you taking the time out. I also want to thank our sponsors, the Russo Law Group, PC, Long Island Signature Estate Planning, Elder Law, and Special Needs Law Firm. For additional information, visit vjrussolaw.com, and Buddha Bath, a natural bath and body care company, and they're located in Seattle. For more information, you could visit buddhabath.net. And last but not least, I want to thank you, our listeners, for tuning in. If you want more information on this show or any other show, and I'm going to put Kimber and Heritage Boot on the website, so you'll have it. But if you want more information on this show or any other show, visit hilarytopper.com Or you can find us on Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, Amazon Alexa, Apple Podcasts, you name it. We're out there. Have a great week, and we'll see you next time.